Princess Diana's rock and former butler Paul Burrell. And Prince Harry seemingly has more court cases on the go than friends right now, despite his phone hacking claim against the publisher of The Sun being branded, quote, implausible by a judge last week. He'll still meet them in a High Court trial next year, among a flurry of other cases against British tabloids, albeit for lesser accusations that they used private investigators to obtain news stories. But Harry's not been so eager to respond to his mother's former confidant, Burrell, who is pursuing legal action against the Duke for potentially libelling him in his previous High Court wrangle against the publisher of The Mirror.
Your complaint is about an alleged disagreement with your brother about meeting Paul Burrell. You refer to this as a private disagreement.
Yes.
Your brother wanted a meeting, but you were firmly against it.
The phrase two-faced shit may have come from a voicemail. That's how...
Tonight we can reveal Paul is actively communicating with Prince Harry's lawyers about unfounded claims that he sold Diana's possessions, and he's here now to give an update on his case. So, Paul, what's the latest?
Well, Dan, I have written to Clinton's, Prince Harry's solicitors, 4 times now, 4 times, and received no response whatsoever. And I'm beginning to think that I'm not going to hear from his solicitors until all this litigation is concluded. Because if Prince Harry has to admit that he's told an untruth about me, who else has he told an untruth about? Now, you know, Dan, in my view, I have a very personal view about this, because not only has the judge, Justice Fancourt, said that Harry's case is implausible, I know that Harry knows more than he's letting on, because, you see, I think he's over-egged the pudding to some degree. Harry knows full well that back in the day, and I witnessed this, that the princess, his mother, would invite editors and journalists to lunch and private meetings at Kensington Palace, which he attended with his brother William. So Harry always knew there wasn't a secret agreement with the media at all. What it was a working relationship with the media, and Diana understood that. And I thought that Harry did, until this point. But now Harry's even thrown his late grandmother under the bus again and said that she had an agreement with the media in Fleet Street. I never saw that either. He's also accused his brother and his father again of making relationships with people in Fleet Street and taking money as sort of settlements from Fleet Street. Really, he's really going for this. And he has to substantiate all of this. He can't just say these things. He has to bring the evidence forward. Until now, he hasn't. Because, you know, Dan, he can't.
No, very good point, very good point. And as you say, Justice Fancourt was really scathing of Harry's witness statement, where he said, look, there's simply no proof. There's no proof of this secret deal. But look, other news breaking today about Prince Harry, Paul. Some suggestion he may have been dropped in some way by this eco-tourism group Travelist, as a PR guru described him as a lightning rod for bad news. So what do you make of this, Paul? Because isn't Harry actually behind Travelist, but now it feels like the company doesn't actually want to use him to push their cause?
He was the face of this company for 3 years, Dan. This initiative was being pulled out by him, and now he's been left out of all the latest talks and the new board. But are you surprised? Because really, there's so much negative publicity around Harry at the moment. He is no longer a positive force for good that can actually push forward an initiative like this. It's becoming more and more difficult for him to promote any business relationships. And I think that, you know, his USP in America, especially with brand Sussex, he's taking a huge bashing because of the negativity surrounding suing the British media. And where we go from here, I've no idea, but it's causing ripples with celebrities in America as well. It's causing people to stand away from them, because it's a damage limitation exercise that's being put forward now in America.
Indeed, just because we give both sides of the story always here on GB News, when we contacted Travelist, their chief executive Sally Davey said Prince Harry is the founder of Travelist and remains an invaluable part of the organisation. His role has not changed in any way and he is regularly involved in strategic discussions and decisions alongside our partners and board. But very, very odd if that's the case that he would not be used publicly. And look, they're using this term now, Paul, when you've been markled, right? When you lose contact with Harry and Meghan. And it appears
Have I been
happened...
harried? I've been harried.
You've been well and truly harried. But it appears there's a big row between the Beckhams and the Markles. But some disagreement, Paul, about actually who cut off communication with who, because it sounds like the Beckhams are absolutely furious that they were accused of leaking stories about Harry.
Yeah. Well, clearly people are beginning to feel that they're being used by Meghan. I mean, Meghan is a predator and she will use people and drop them when she's finished with them. When she's sucked them dry, they'll be gone. The Beckhams don't need Harry and Meghan. They're A-list celebrities in their own field. They don't need the support of Harry and Meghan. But isn't it sad that Harry and the Beckhams were there at the wedding, as were the Obamas, as were the Clooneys? Where are they all now? They're beginning to see who Harry and Meghan are, and they do not want to be in the same sphere as them.
Paul Burrell, always brilliant to talk. Princess Diana's rock and former butler. Thank you so much, Paul. Keep us posted.